Consider how this might apply globally. Pick any conflict, say a long-standing international feud or a civil divide. Imagine if, instead of doubling down on weapons or rhetoric, the opposing sides actually sat and listened to each other's pain with a will to forgive and find commonality. The very energy of such a scenario shifts dramatically. Walls tumble, humanity peeks through. We know this sounds idealistic, given the entrenched animosities out there. But that is exactly what the new timeline supports. Previously impossible reconciliations will start to become possible. You, as lightworkers, can nurture that by holding the vision of it, and by not feeding the narrative of irreconcilable differences. The text of the old world said, "We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers," basically recognizing there are unseen forces behind physical conflicts. We say, those unseen forces, fear, hate, greed, are themselves only shadows of ignorance. They cannot stand when the light of unity is shone. Already, you might observe how many global clashes are showing signs of weariness, an exhaustion with fighting, a search for new solutions. That is the inbreaking of the higher frequency. Force will never resolve what is fundamentally an energetic imbalance. Only a higher vibration can do that. And forgiveness is one of the highest vibrations accessible to the human heart. When a critical number of individuals even imagine forgiveness in the context of a world issue, they feed the field new information. Solutions that seemed far-fetched begin to present themselves. Seemingly chance encounters between key players might spark empathy. Peace treaties may emerge that actually hold, not because of political pressure, but because the consciousness on both sides has shifted. We assure you, if you could see from our vantage point, every time you meditate on peace or forgive a collective villain in your heart, that energy goes out and finds a target. It might touch a leader in their sleep, or soften the heart of a negotiator, or inspire a citizen movement of reconciliation. This is the real, behind-the-scenes work of light. So do not lose heart when you see turmoil. Double down on your commitment to be a forgiveness emissary. The old conflict-ridden reality is like a dense forest losing its leaves. It will gradually give way to new growth. And you are the sunshine and rain for that new growth, by virtue of the love you choose to radiate. When you practice forgiveness consistently, you are not ignoring reality. You are seeing a deeper reality. You become aware of the soul-level truth behind the appearances. Some people fear that forgiving means they won't take action or that they'll allow injustice to continue. We cannot stress enough. Forgiveness does not make you inactive. It makes your actions more effective and wise. Consider the difference between a warrior who is consumed by hatred for the enemy and a warrior who is motivated by love for peace and protection of the innocent. The latter fights without malice. If anything, they fight with a kind of love even for those they oppose. Love in the sense that they sincerely hope even the opponent will one day find freedom from the darkness that entangles them. History has seen such warriors of light. In modern terms, we're not necessarily talking about physical fighting, but about any engagement for change. The field changes when the warrior becomes a lover of truth rather than an enemy of something. So, dear ones, remain active, engage fully with your world's transformation, but do so without identifying anyone as a permanent foe. Hold individuals accountable if needed, yes, but hold their humanity and divinity in your heart simultaneously. This is advanced practice, we know, but it is the way of the adept in 5D living. In practical life, this looks like continuing to stand up for what is right. You do speak out against harmful policies. You do protect those who need protection. You do expose lies that need exposing. But you do it without anger poisoning your heart. You do it with a prayer that all involved can find healing and resolution, even those who perpetrated harm. You will discover this approach to be far less draining. Many activists in the old energy burned out because hatred and frustration ate them from within. In the new energy, an activist powered by love and forgiveness can keep going like an energizer beacon because they tap into infinite source fuel. Their cause is not against something, it's an offering to the whole. You will find yourself more and more becoming an advocate for solutions rather than an opponent of problems. This subtle shift has enormous effects. It means you are building the new rather than endlessly tearing down the old. To use a simple metaphor, instead of being someone who spends all day protesting a polluting factory, though that had its place, you become someone who enthusiastically builds and promotes a clean energy alternative. The old fades because the new outshines it. This is seeing reality through the unity of the cosmic heart. You focus on the truth you love, not the illusion you hate. And ironically, that love has more power to eliminate the illusion than hate ever could. There is a great change in the field when enough people engage this way. The collective psyche relaxes because it senses solutions are coming from a higher place. The so-called fight between light and dark changes flavor. It becomes less of a fight and more of an integration dance. Of course, each of you will still have boundaries and discernment. Forgiving doesn't mean naively trusting everyone. It means you trust the larger process of healing. You become inclusive in your vision of victory. A world where even those who played dark roles have been transformed rather than annihilated. Some may choose to leave if they cannot align, but you hold no personal rancor. This is the peace that passeth understanding, acting with strength and principle, yet holding no hate. It is the way of the open-hearted warrior of light, the true leader of New Earth, and that leader is emerging within you now.